Hey everyone, and welcome to Sunday night's main event after party for WWE's Clash at the Castle. That is right. We are here chatting all things on the PLE that just ended, and I think everyone is in a pretty good mood on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday afternoon, at least here in Southern Ontario. Joining me, as always, are well, not as always, but more than always now, are the Smack Daddies themselves, Greg.
Always on these afternoon PLEs, I think it seems like we're old, so we like to go to bed early. So we like these early pay-per-views.
Early to
Exactly.
bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Hello, friends! I am Brad the Dad, and as always, riding shotgun with me is my tag team partner, Greg Father Feltham, and your Smack Daddies, combined with our Latino brother, are the triple threat, triple tag team. We are your best six-man connection here at Sunday night's main event.
Oh, I needed that. I needed that laugh. I needed that energy. It's been a very long week. It's been crazy. It's been crazy, but we're here to talk about all things WWE Clash of the Casual. So as always, let's just get right to it and start. What were your thoughts, Brad? Thoughts on the show?
I love this show. I literally said before we went live, I think I need a smoke, and I don't smoke whatsoever. Dude, this was one of the best shows we have had, and I keep feeling like I say that every time we get to a WWE PLE, but this show had everything I wanted and a few good surprises. Greg, we're literally in three different provinces today. Boris is in Ontario. It's raining here in Nova Scotia. Greg, in Newfoundland, how's the weather and how is life?
The rain that you got this morning is just starting here now, and I know that it was almost monsoon levels of rain there today. So we are just starting to hit that now. How's life? It's been a busy day. Was glad to get home and watch this PLE. The joyful thing about PLEs is being able to start late and play catch up, which is always good. Except the Peacock interface is terrible for trying to resume, and it freezes pretty constantly. So beyond that, it was okay, like being able to play catch up and stuff with it, but that way you can cut out so much filler, which is so nice. It makes this an even better. I know, Brad, you said you wanted to smoke after this, but when you cut out all those commercials, it makes the show even better.
So you need a drink and a smoke. Gotcha.
Yeah, apparently.
I love it. That's exactly how it is. Yeah, no, it was a very fun show, right? And again, these afternoon PLEs are always so much fun. And as always, it's going to probably be talked about everywhere, but we've got to talk about that crowd. That crowd just added a little, as the French say, I don't know what to it, right? Right, Greg?
They did. They really did. It's these, myself and Brad were talking about this last night. It's these European, non-US crowds that keep bringing more and more to this. As you said, that little je ne sais quoi. It's I would be more than content that if WWE toured over in Europe every Friday night in the summer, like, give it to me that way, because man, these crowds are hot, and I think it's more and more so that these crowds are frankly starved for WWE content. I mean, Boris, you guys had a really great show there in Toronto last year, Edge's retirement thing with WWE, and I don't think, has WWE been back since? I don't think so, right?
No, their first show back. No, they were here in the right after Christmas,
yeah, those don't count.
Outside of that, this is exactly. They're here for a house show at Christmas time, like they are every year. But next month, Money in the Bank is the first time that they're back since for doing TV.
I think Greg, I was gonna say, I don't think we've had a house show in Nova Scotia in like 5-6 years now, like maybe 7. Like, it's been a long time. So I completely understand like the starvation from these crowds. Like, I don't think Halifax is going to put one off like this, but yeah, it's.
But this is also a good point that I was talking to someone as the show was going on. People were texting me, and it's like the Euros are going on right now, right? Like the Euros are on right now. The game started at 9 a.m. here, at least on the East Coast, right? So 9, 12, and 3 are the times that the games are going on. So, yeah, a good majority of the crowd is probably a little inebriated, as we like to say. So yeah, that adds to it. But like you said, I think the main thing is the crowd is starved, the crowd is hungry, the crowd wants this, and let's face it, they're not gonna let the French get all the attention.
Oh, and they did a great job of not letting the French get all the attention. There was singing and chanting in every single opportunity. And maybe they're drunk or maybe they're just Scottish. Because as a Scot, with Scottish heritage, I almost got my damn kilt on. I had it sitting on my bed, but I didn't get the outcome I wanted in the main event. So that kilt is sitting there until I get my Scottish champion, damn it.
I actually was kind of a little disappointed in you, Boris. I was expecting some bagpipes to play us into this show. Like,
yeah, right. You know, I like dressing these shows up a little bit, but like I was just saying, this week has just completely drained me, left, right, and centers, and yeah, haven't had too much time outside of work and the other work that I do. Yeah. Right,
okay.
So it's just been crazy.
So someone needs to keep an eye on the press conference. Apparently, Punk's at the press conference. And Boris, you want to bring up our second comment from Spanner 1982? That was a good year, by the way. 82. He brought donuts.
There we go. He brought donuts. I wonder if he's tired, beat up, angry,
tired of dealing with children at work.
Yep, exactly. I love it. I love it.
If he does basically a spoof on himself, I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan, but I may cross back over into the Punk fan land if he just makes fun of himself. Because at this point, why not? The rest of us are.
Pretty much. But yeah, no, so yeah, the crowd did an awesome job. It'll be very, very interesting to see what the Toronto crowd brings next month at Money in the Bank. I know this happened in the middle of the show, but I absolutely love that Money in the Bank promo that they played. That like 60s heist TV show promo that they played. I really, really did like that. I also love the fact that they made it look like Niagara Falls is part of Lake Ontario, like right beside Toronto. But that's expected with these things.
It's an hour away, for the love of God. Like that's like next to Toronto.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. They made it look like it was. God damn it, Greg.
Yeah, I know. It was so dumb. It's like that's like saying Greg is like just down the road.
Yeah.
You know, a province over and a 12-hour ferry right away.
Yeah. It's why I get so upset anytime that they refer to the California Angels as the Los Angeles Angels, because they are way down. Like they're not even in Orange County. They're way out of, like, they're not even close to LA.
Boys, okay, we got to get into this first match because we might have if we got 5 stars on the Meltzer scale for the last one, I think this will break his scale.
Probably. Look, I like this match a lot more than the Backlash match. I love this match so much. This was a perfect if this wasn't going to main event, this needed to open, and this brought it, and it was so much fun. We saw blood. We saw we saw so much in this. Brad, take it away.
So match number 1 of the night is AJ Styles challenging for the Undisputed Championship against Cody Rhodes. Cody's mom is in the crowd. And Greg, was I the only one screaming angle alert when we saw Cody's mom in the crowd?
Yeah. That's the only thing maybe that I would say that I didn't like in these matches or these type of matches is the continual use of or pointing to the people in the crowd that are there to watch or support. Yeah, I'm getting a little sick of those type things, but that's the only, I think, critique I could say in this match.
I think she added to the match because she definitely will add to it. I can see your critique. However, I will always make an exception for Mama Rhodes. She is invited to the cookout. I want to be invited to her cookout. Comments from our Draw Straw brothers. Drew McIntyre is my favorite wrestler. You should have made the horseshoe falls next to the CN Tower in Skydome. Yes, I said it. Fight me, Berkey. Apparently, Sean Burkhead's just catching strays up here on SNME all weekend long. So the announcers teed up how this is going to be 2 of the most willful superstars in WWE fighting over this. They fight through the crowd. They brawl through the backstage. Boris, I was afraid this was going to happen for the whole thing. Was this too much brawling outside of the arena or just the right amount?
I think this was just the right amount, right? Especially for a live show, especially for like a hungry crowd. It's very risky to go into the crowd and away from the arena for too long. But I like that they went to the back, went through Gorilla, and went right through the front. Like what, in 5 minutes? Not even.
Yeah, it was exactly the right amount. By the way, to our friend Heel, we would have to dig up Sheldon's mama because she's long gone. She did. Anyways, we continued on. The turning point was when AJ drops Cody on the desk, and at that point, he just starts wailing on the back of his neck, putting his head in a steel chair and dropping a knee. And then we get the black bag. I love the black bag because the black bag was handcuffs. Go ahead, Boris.
And I love the fact that even the commentators said, we know what's usually in these bags, right? And no, it wasn't what we thought it was. It was handcuffs instead of thumbtacks. And I like that Cole made the Jake the Snake reference also there.
Yeah, it was, dude, I love the fact they got Cody a little bit bloody here. And this point, we had AJ getting in Mama Rhodes' face. I loved the part here when she slaps him, but she's really just distracting. Greg, how did you feel about Cody's Houdini routine, shall we say, given that Eminem dropped his track this week called with the same name?
Um,
Hold on. Never in my bingo card for 2024 would I have ever thought that Brad make an Eminem reference ever. There you go. Look at that.
As a transition to throw to me. Like, I mean, I think that's a double square on the bingo card, right? Like,
I love it.
all right. So what do I think of? Again, my only fear here is that the ringside family members become such a trope with these type of matches between Sami Zayn's wife, Cody Rhodes' mother multiple times now. That to me, and her inability to hit AJ Styles right the first time, then she had to go back for time 2, 3. Because I mean, the first time she slapped him on the shoulder, for the love of God. So yeah, it was what it was.
Yeah, I don't care. The slaps were great. It was, dude, it caused a distraction. Cody gets out. Mama Rhodes did 3 slaps. Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe AJ should have sold the first one. I'm just saying. Anyways, he gets out, and then eventually Cody gets out of the handcuffs, this dramatic crawl, and then he goes on the offense. I love the fact that the phantom table from early on gets used just before Cody's offense, and then we lock AJ to the ropes, and the beatdown is on with the steel chair. All of the whooping that AJ gave out earlier gets done, and then almost out of nowhere, we get the end of this match where we have the steel steps by Cody, and he's going to hit AJ, and AJ screams, "No!" Boris, did that work for you as an ending, or
It's becoming a bit of a trope. It's happening more and more and more, which is, that's my one minor critique. But I love the fact that after the match, Cody still knocks him with the steel steps. Like, they was like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna still use them."
Greg, how did you feel about the steel step ending, and was it sweet justice when Cody blasted him with the steps?
This is actually, I think, the best use of Cody's mother in the match is like, no, you have my permission, go and do it. Like, if you're going to use her, I love the kind of throw to her. There's a little flub there with the camera work at the end of this because Cody didn't give enough breathing time from his mom saying yes to being able to hit AJ, so they didn't get a chance to reposition the camera to actually see the lead into the shot. But yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the storytelling here. You're right, Boris. I mean, we talked earlier about the velvet bag. That was kind of a very fun thing. I wasn't sure what we were going to see when it came to the handcuffs, whether it was going to be around wrapped around the ring, around the post, or what we were going to get here. But I think overall, this was a really fun match and a great kickoff to start the show. I don't think they could have really done it any better.
And gentlemen, bonus points, because after the match, Cody's in the aisleway, and he has Solo come out of nowhere. The crowd boos incessantly. The Bloodline attack, and then we have Randy Orton and Kevin Owens for the save. Boris, are we up in your end of the world, in the T-Dot, are we going to get a 6-man tag?
seems it. We don't need a title match, right? We don't need a title match at all. A ladder match should be the main event. I'm assuming one of the two ladder matches will be the main event for Money in the Bank. And this could set up potential, Roman Reigns return and stuff. So I like the fact that they set up the main event for Money in the Bank. What we're going to assume will be the main event, that is. So
I love, and also good comment here. I like the ending. It was cozy. And I'm going to assume the ending. I mean, AJ still looks strong. He took 3 crossroads. Great point. And Boris, could you bring me the next one? Because I think Greg, I don't know if Greg's watching the comments, and this one's for him. Greg is still upset that Sami Zayn's wife never slapped anybody.
You know what? That's a very fair point to our PIC there who's commenting. Here's the only thing I didn't like about the beatdown, the post-match beatdown and the save from Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Poor Kevin Owens had a chance to take his tie off.
Oh,
should have left his tie on for that beatdown. So Kevin, just class it up a little bit, buddy.
And hopefully he's getting a cut on those Steve Austin shirts because he's been wearing them for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Okay. Tons of commercials. Any guys, thumbs up or down for the Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. We got a little vignette just before this match. Did that help these ladies at all?
I think it furthered the story, right? That these are the hometown gals, and it was one of those things of I knew that one of the hometown people were going to win. I just wasn't sure exactly which one. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be Piper Niven. It was either this one or Drew, right? So I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. But I liked it. I liked that promo, especially because you don't see them on TV each and every single week. You see them sparingly, so I think this was a nice way to reintroduce them.
Greg's mad because if you listen to the Smack Daddies podcast last night, he didn't do so well with those pickety picks.
No, I did not. So Boris, I actually would have put Piper Niven in as the one to pick up the win tonight. So I was a little surprised with the Alba Dawn and Isla Fire. This match here was an interesting match. And let's talk about this, and then we can talk more about Piper and Bailey a little bit later.
Yeah, very, very simple match for match number 2. It was Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, the hometown girls, versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, who are our women's tag team champions. Our triple threat match. The rules are simple. 1 member from each team. You can only tag your own teammates. And early on, this was all first Bianca showing off her flippy stuff, and then Jade showing off her power. We then have the 4 challengers realizing, hey, we're not going to beat them, so they beat them down. And it becomes, for the most part of this match, the 2 teams, and then we get the clear faces, the Scotland gals versus Shayna and Zoe. Boris, Shayna and Zoe are underrated, right? Like
100%.
They were the glue in this match.
Yep. I think so. I think that they had the best performance overall. No one was bad in this match per se, right? But I think that Zoe and Shayna, they were kind of the MVPs of this match. I really enjoyed everything that they did here, and they were kind of the standouts, and the new champs are as well. But I think that Zoe and Shayna did a fantastic job here.
So we get some great double team spots, but this match really doesn't pick up again until we get to the final sequence where Jade and Bianca are back in the match. They're hitting a bunch of finishers. Eventually, they hit their tandem finisher in the ring, and out of nowhere, I was sure her elbow was messed up. Alba Fire or Isla Dawn was shaking that elbow like fiercely. She comes in, hits a suplex. She jumps on for the pin, and Alba Fire holds the feet. Greg, this was my shock of the night.
So before even that sequence, there's a sequence before it where Jade Cargill is in the headlock from Shayna Baszler. And it's very clear that Shayna Baszler has Jade Cargill tap out there, and they call it out, which is really great. That's when I was like, okay. Then I really thought then, okay, we're gonna get Jade and Bianca to win here. So I was really shocked. And then going into that final sequence, as you said, Brad, I don't know. It looked, if I had to say anything about this match, it looked a little like it was just one hair of a step off. Like it wasn't clean like the other times we've seen that finish happen. Them try to do that moveset at the very end. And even watching it back on the replay, I just noticed like when she was doing that German suplex, it looked like she was like off to the side or something, and it just wasn't her normal usual thing. So I don't know if there was something actually happened to Jade in that match, and that's why she kind of gave the little tap to the arm or something. Like maybe she was just a little gassed or something there. I don't know.
Maybe she was missing gear. Like her gear got stolen during the week. Love the comment here from the Drawstraw guys. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire are both underrated and should be highlighted more. Agreed. And they are the former women's NXT women's champions, and of course, long stays on. Boris, you and our old pal Matt watched a lot of NXT UK. Like, you're not surprised by how awesome these girls are.
No, not at all. Especially, well, everyone knows about Alba Fire and how amazing she is, and I think the commentators did a great job of really pushing her in this match, saying, "Look, she's special. She did great before, right? And we're trying to do something again now with her." But Isla Dawn, I think, she had an okay run in NXT UK, in NXT stateside. She was kind of slowly getting better, and then they kind of formed the Witch A sisters. And remember that they were NXT women's tag champs before. So
yeah, and then they came up to the main roster and dropped them very, very quickly.
Yeah,
and a big shout out. Greg called this out last night. The fact that there was, not only did they get their flowers from their family at ringside, but given the circumstances, and I like that Michael Cole didn't get into the circumstances, but said there was some family circumstances, and yeah, the GoFundMe is up actually for this because they're trying to get her mom home. So, yeah, anyways, Rock, where's the Rock when we need him, guys? Like, Greg, he can fund that with, like, what he finds at his couch.
Probably, but I mean, he's probably got some big medical bills now with his messed up elbow, so who knows?
Oh, yeah. All right, guys, so let's keep this rolling. Match number 3 of the night is Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. Boris, you started by talking about the crowd. The crowd is really behind Sami to start this match. It was almost incredible.
Yeah, they were insanely behind Sami. It's like they were behind everyone. They were behind Chad as well, but everyone else was just getting super monstrous pops. Like, it was crazy. It was great to see. I really enjoyed the atmosphere. This match felt bigger, like big match feel, because of the crowd. This was excellent. I thought, to me personally, this was the opener was the match of the night for me, but this was a very, very close second.
Hey, Greg, did you catch the massacre on Monday?
I don't think I did.
There was we got our little blip. So Massacre's coming on Monday to Raw. Tune in for Raw to see that. And also tune in to the Raw Dogs afterwards for Drawstraw Raw in order to see what they make of a massacre. So, gents, story of this match is Sami and Chad, but Otis is trapped in the middle. This was almost an Otis on the pole match.
Yeah, it really was. That was the focus, right? And what I appreciated about this match was that it didn't take away from the in-ring. I thought the in-ring was excellent, but the Otis story didn't completely overshadow what the match was giving us. They did a good job of integrating everything. So that's why I did appreciate that for sure.
Dude, if you have wrestlers doing moves like Sami and them were doing, including I think this when Sami goes to do the dive to the outside, he lands on the top rope and then he springs back in. The crowd lost its mind. Like they were happy to see this match. The match really turns when Sami goes out to talk to the Alpha Academy. Chad's talking to them. Sami goes out. The crowd's there, but we eventually get the Chad Gable he goes after the ankle and gets the arm, and he works over Sami's arm for the rest of this match. And that is the story of the match. Greg, how did you like the limb work from Chad Gable? Was this too slow or just right?
No, I think that this was just right. It's the style. It's the more amateur wrestling style that we see out of Chad Gable. And I mean, he tells that story. He tells that story really well, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this Alpha Academy gimmick that he's working. So yeah, and there was one spot in this match where Sammy drops Chad Gable on his head, and
Oh wait, you're missing after the standing switch where they did must have been a dozen standing switches, and then he dropped him on his head. Yeah, that was great, Greg.
and then I think it was Cole that makes the comment, or maybe it was Barrett that makes the comment that he's a half an inch shorter, and all I could think in my head was, "Oh, Shorty G is back."
Well, and dude,
Right?
I'm so happy it wasn't Shorty G. But he also calls out then he didn't get the cover because of the arm, and that was the. I got to say, Boris, the crowd was great. The commentators were on fire tonight.
They were awesome. I just feel like they're being themselves. They're allowed to commentate the match the way that they see it on their monitors, right? And I really appreciate that. And I feel like everyone from the backstage reporters to the commentators, everyone that's not, a wrestler is starting to get their own character a bit, right? Like, and that's what I'm really liking about this. And this show really showed that, especially, as the night went, this match, especially in my opinion, with just Graves and Barrett just teaming up on Cole. Like, Cole is just trying to like shit on Chad, and they're like, "What are you? Are you an idiot? Are you blind?" Like, blah blah blah. It was so well done. And the commentators, like, kudos to them for this match.
And they allowed a lot of things to breathe, including when we ended up having the dive by Sammy, which Chad pulls Otis into, and then Chad hits a moonsault, and at that point Cole like animates the scene by saying, like, how can you not turn on him? How could you not see this? And then we have this part. I mean, we've had the manager knocked down. Her ankle is hurt, and she is Maxine is there, and there's this couple of times where they're trying to get him to attack, and this finally Otis's conscience kicks in. He picks up Maxine, goes to leave, and this distracts Chad for a haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Chad doesn't win, and Otis is like, Greg, we're parents. I've never hit my kids, but I'd be worried if I was Otis, because Otis is not a kid, and Chad's gonna take his belt off again.
Yeah, this is. I was gonna say Randy and Eric are certainly going to have some things to talk about on Monday after we see what's going to happen here when they come back to the States. So,
Boris. Oh wait, I got to cut you off a second because I have to do this while I'm thinking about it. Boris, should he be grateful that Chad's not Latino? Because I know that Chancla would come out and just whoop his ass.
That's why I was kind of smirking when you said, that you've never hit your kid. I'm like, man, lucky kids. I just felt like, oh, whew, my mommy. I just feel like this cold chill. My mom must have heard that one. No, but it's like, yeah, no, I think they did a great job here of also making you kind of setting up things for Monday that makes you actually want to watch the show on Monday. And this match was one of them. It's like, what's going to happen to the Alpha Academy now, right? Should also be reported. Chad Gable reportedly has resigned. We'll talk more about that on the main show tomorrow.
Excellent. And I'm looking forward to you and Donnie breaking that down. I mean, speaking of building, we had Dawn and Fire in the back, and they did a victory promo. And what's going to happen with them? I assume they're going to be on the show on Monday. I'm dying to see what's going to happen with those ladies. Greg, I could.
You know what, Brad? I'm going to say I actually hope they don't. I hope WWE gives them a couple more days to spend over in Scotland before they come back and like do it on Friday or the following Monday.
Yeah, for us, just so we can see them on Friday. Well, something has to carry to Friday, and it can't just be Cody. Oh boy, Greg, I could hear you screaming because your girl. Chelsea Green and our Raw Dog's favorite, boy, did she steal the scene for this next match.
Oh, yeah. This, I wasn't sure what we were getting out of this match, so this was an interesting one, to say the least.
So, Piper Niven challenging in her home country of Scotland against Bayley, our defending women's champion, over on SmackDown. And boy, oh boy, these women had a great match. But Chelsea Green slapping Bayley, Boris. What did you think?
I loved it. It was so good. Everything Chelsea Green does is entertaining. As cheesy, as stupid as she acts, everything she does is so fucking entertaining. I don't know why I'm swearing so much, but she's so good at everything she does, and yeah, like it was so good. Like I enjoyed this match a lot more than I thought I would, and I like Piper. I think she's super talented. I just thought that going into this match, there wasn't much meat on the bone, right? But here we go. Like they did a good job overall.
There was some great athleticism in this match as well from both ladies. So early on, Chelsea gets caught slapping Bailey. She's gone. We eventually have a cannonball to the outside by Piper, which looked awesome. And she goes on offense. She goes throwing around. She's splashing Bailey in the corner. Bailey dodges one of those, which just looks amazing. And they go back and forth throughout this match until there's a point where I think Bailey's got her beat, and down comes the luchador, Greg's new favorite luchador. I think he ended up. What was the nickname that he gave her? El Gran Luchador. When's the El Gran Luchador coming to SmackDown, Greg?
I don't know, but so there's another scene. So WWE.com, and I'll talk about it in a little bit later, posted some behind the scenes stuff in a later match. And what I want, and I don't know if it's out there or if they'll show it eventually or put it as a .com exclusive, is Chelsea Green backstage when Little Nate throws her to the back after she, physically accosted him and all that stuff. But I want to see what happens behind the curtain while she's in the back trying to, get the mask and then come back in that decision. Like, I want to see that backstage footage. So I hope that it's out there and that they put it up as a .com exclusive.
Chelsea Green goes over to the concession stands, throws down her $60, actually probably $300, buys the Rey Mysterio mask, comes wind sprinting back in. There you go. .com exclusive. Piper hits the Piper driver, which was only 2. The spinning Bossman slam on the outside. But eventually we get there's a counter from the Rose Plant and a crucifix bomb for the win. Okay, question number 1 to Greg. Greg, did you really enjoy this match?
I really enjoyed this match, but I will tell you, I bit hard on that Piper driver.
Ooh.
I think a lot of people did on that.
I think a lot of people did. I did too for like a split second. I'm like, holy shit, is this actually gonna happen?
Yeah, no, it wasn't going to happen. Boris, what about the crucifix bomb being added to Bailey's repertoire? I like this as a secondary finish for her.
I like it as long as it's executed properly and she doesn't just get stuffed, right? But I do like this move. I like the way that they've used it. I like the fact that she had to resort to another smart, intelligent way to win, right? So I'm a fan.
This was great. And we then get the crowd after the amazing Money in the Bank one, or just before the Money in the Bank one, where we had the boo-boo face on Corey, where it finds out that he's supposed to go drinking with the strongman from Scotland, and instead he has to he's doing the press conference. Guys, the commentary. This is the number one thing about the Paul Levesque era, the commentary. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, this is... Go, Greg.
I was gonna say, yeah, the commentary tonight was on point. It was on Elba fire, if you will.
Go ahead, Boris. There you go. You can't beat that.
I got nothing else. No, what I am gonna say though is, yeah, like we talked about the commentary, and this is a classic part of them just having fun, them shooting the shit, and I love the fact that as the screen was fading, you can see Corey just start laughing and howling. Like that was awesome. But I also love how they're just as organized as we are.
Do you know what? And to add to that, there's video, again, behind the scenes video of Michael Cole, and I think it was this week, making a shot at that made Pat McAfee crack on Raw, and yeah. I'm like, I love that stuff. Give me more of that.
Oh, and
that's exactly it. It just adds to the fun. I like it. Just this is different from when. And I know this is a bad example because I know everyone hates Booker on commentary, as do I. But remember when Booker was commentator on Raw, and they were just everything felt forced. Even when they were having quote unquote fun, it felt forced. Now you can see that they just legitimately are just having a blast out there, shooting the shit, calling what they see on the monitors, not worried about being yelled at, and doing their job.
And my apologies, it wasn't Chelsea there. It was El Verde. Which
is Spanish for the green.
The green. Okay, good. I'm glad. I thought that was the green. Okay, good. Well, the green was there, and the next out was our main event for the evening, which was Drew McIntyre challenging for the WWE Championship against Damian Priest. Or sorry, the World Heavyweight Championship. Boy, oh boy, Scotland the Brave. I stood up. I saluted. My kilt was taken off out of my suit bag. It was laid nicely on my bed. I was all set to join the party. And then, of course, Drew comes out. He gets a crazy reaction. Greg, you love the decimal meter last night on SmackDown. I think they nearly broke the decimal meter during this main event.
So honest to God, I skipped forward because I was struggling with the Peacock app or the Peacock website at this point. So I skipped forward right to basically the start of the bell. So I missed
100 decibels throughout the entrance. Damian Priest gets booed out of the building. And my favorite part is when he's waiting for Damian to come out. Drew just screams, "Come on out here and fight me, you prick." Like, I'm not much of a cursor, but boy, oh boy. And then entrance. Drew gets in his face, and the fight is on. It was a great match. Guys, what were your... there's a lot in this match, but before we get to the ending, Boris, any highlights from this match that you want to point out?
The ending. I just love that ending sequence. I love how they filmed it. I love how everything's squared up. It was so well done. An unintentional highlight, and I hope that everyone is okay, was when Damian Priest got his ankle trapped on the ropes. If you notice throughout the night, I feel like those ropes were a little more slippery than usual. I think a couple other people had
Jade had a crash,
Jade, right?
Yeah,
and yes, but hopefully everyone's okay. I feel like, this match was just overall really well done for what it was. Gave the crowd a lot of fun spots. The crowd just had fun, and that added to the overall feeling watching at home.
Yeah, I agree with the heel, though. No more lucha moves for Damian Priest. I think, he nearly killed himself a few times. But they used that into the match. Greg, basically the match became a beatdown by Drew on Damian Priest. And how much could he take?
I was going to say, all the lucha moves now belong to El Verde.
That's right. Greg, did you enjoy the Razor's Edge? Was there another spot besides that? That was my favorite spot, the Razor's Edge. Anytime I can get a Scott Hall reference, I love it.
How can you not, right? That is... When you see him break out the Razor's Edge, there's a little tear that comes to your eye to be like, damn, God, I miss Razor Ramon.
Yeah, so we end up getting a Claymore on the outside where Damian Priest goes flying into the ring announcers. He gets thrown back in. The Spanish announcers got off safe tonight. Their table was not destroyed. Maybe they weren't ringside. So we ended up having...
I don't think they even had one.
Shh, quiet. They have to have one, or what else? That's why it wasn't destroyed. Makes sense. Okay, so they go
next
back.
Month. They'll probably have the French announce table beside them, right? So
they'll get destroyed. So when they get back in the ring, we end up having this great series with Eddie Orango, who dives out of the ring to avoid an attack, and then gets knocked off the apron for his trouble. Drew eventually hits the Claymore, and Boris, being that you've already gloated about this sequence, why don't you describe in excessive detail, as we have him pinned, the crowd's counting, what happens?
Yeah, this was so well done. I absolutely love this. So we get the ref bump. Priest moves out the Claymore kick. The second referee jumps in, but the way that they filmed it was you only see the back, right? 1, 2, and then stuff happens and everyone gets up. But what I love the most is if you look at the shoes, you knew who it was right away by looking at the shoes, right? And,
okay. So yeah. I gotta jump in here because for a half second you see the ref shirt, right? But you see the arms. The arms were black, and then for a minute I'm like, wait, is this a female ref and we're in Saudi again?
Well, and
also Jessica Carr.
The crowd cut to the wide shot where we saw the ref wind sprinting, but we couldn't see who it was. And I just thought that was a wide cut because, hey, look at all the people here.
Yeah, nope. It was a fantastic camera angle. Hats off to WWE because this little bit of production does so much for it. So yeah, you the 1, the 2, and then you get the reveal, the stop, and then you kind of like, okay, well, we all know who it is, but then we get that look, right? And we get that reveal, and you're just like, damn, you guys did a good job. But so I'm going to jump in here because if you go back, WWE has posted this on their socials, but there is they filmed the backstage footage of CM Punk watching the match, him see the ref bump, and then him going up and trying to figure out, he runs into Jessica Carr. Now I only watched the video, I couldn't hear it, but he tries to get Jessica Carr to take her off her ref shirt. She gives him another one because there was one folded up next to her apparently. And that's when he puts it on and takes it off. And I'm like, this backstage stuff is what I want. I love this.
So let's cue up Boris. Boris, the clip. Go ahead.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me do what I gotta do. But do that. Make this bigger. That's what she said. Make sure sound's on. Make sure I close the loop, and we're good.
Hey, Jess, you got an extra shirt? Jess, give me your shirt. Give me your shirt. Yes, give me.
Yeah.
Just give me that one. I don't care. Just give me
I
your
got
shirt.
this one. I got this one.
Why do you? Don't worry about why.
Can I have that back? It's good.
You have it back. Don't worry.
Okay, all right.
Meanwhile, CM Punk is the same size shirt as Jessica Carr. Also, WWE, please don't demonetize us for using that clip. We are only using it because we love you guys so much.
Well, and that's why I didn't know. I didn't know if we were going to get in trouble, so that's why I tried to describe. But I even just the attention to detail, right? Like the gorilla and with the sign for the gorilla on the door. I was like, oh, that like even just that little stuff just makes me kind of chuckle.
It was great, and then CM Punk flips off Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre gets in CM Punk's face. He gets a kick in the balls because Drew is such a proud Scottish man that hurts 10 times more than it would hurt anybody else in the world. So he is done. And Damian Priest gets up and he south of heavens, poor Drew McIntyre. 1, 2, 3. The 3 CM Punk fans in the crowd gathered around CM Punk. The only people that was brave because I was fearing somebody was going to stab him like he was Roddy Piper.
The crowd was a lot nicer than I thought that they would be. I thought Punk was like going to get like honestly thought it was going to be a Hogan joining the NWO moment with the amount of garbage that was going to be thrown and all that. Like that was just so well done. I love that Punk just stuck around, did his thing, and and loved it.
It was great. I think our heel is in line with the rest of us. We loved it. Greg, you loved it. This was one of the best PLE endings we've had this year.
So the only thing that I would say here that I'm not sure whether, and I haven't decided yet whether I liked or not, is I wonder if CM Punk should have actually counted the win for Damian Priest instead of having Eddie come back in.
I think Eddie coming back in means that you don't get the loophole, so that he can't. He says that the ref, because CM Punk's not a ref, he just put on this shirt to screw with him.
Here's the thing: does it matter?
Listen, it matters to me. Eddie's super tough.
Yeah,
listen, this proves that Eddie Orango is the toughest referee in WWE.
Well, I mean, you're not going to see Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest wrestle again, at least anytime soon, right? So does it matter if CM Punk, wearing the ref shirt, acting as a ref, goes and counts the win for Damian Priest, or not? I and that's the only thing, and that I'm trying to rack in my brain here, and I think it could go either way on it. But
you know what, Greg? Here's the ridiculous part. This is the stuff we're nitpicking about because this show was damn near perfect. That we're arguing about these little details.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not even trying to argue with it. I'm just kind of wondering in my head whether or not I would have liked that better, and I don't know what the answer is yet. But it was just one of those thoughts that I was like, what if that happened instead?
I almost want to be like, if I could play my sound effect, it would be dun 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 dun. Father Greg. It is just, it is a great thing. Boris, we keep having the best PLEs of the year. I think this PLE will have a special place in my heart because of the ending.
I think so too. I think that overall the crowd, the ending, a couple surprises, the shortness of it, the Saturday afternoon of it, all of that.
5 matches, 5 title matches, all good matches.
So here's the thing. And Boris, you could throw, I know you're not going to have me back on for a little while after I say this, but I don't think Money in the Bank is going to be able to live up to this. And I think the
I don't
next
think
thing
so.
I was going to say, I think the next thing that will is the Bash in Berlin or whatever they're calling the German show next.
That's
Bash in
because
Berlin.
that's because it's before your bedtime, Greg.
100%.
So Gunther versus Priest at SummerSlam. This means Gunther will keep the belt for Mania, so CM Punk and Drew's rivalry will not have the belt involved? Question mark. So, what do you guys think? If we're gonna get Gunther and Priest at SummerSlam, I think Gunther's getting the title at some point. Boris?
It depends on what happens at Money in the Bank, right? Like there's just so much that can happen between now and SummerSlam.
And Greg, I'm gonna let you answer the question, and then I have a nitpick for you. So go ahead.
So I will change Boris's comments to say there's so much to happen between Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Bash in Berlin.
Yeah. This summer for WWE, like the last time that I was like, I need to watch this was, 1997, Fuck USA type of, the Hart Foundation. Like that was the summer of wrestling for me, and I kind of feel like this summer, for WWE at least, is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, not the summer when, some guy who threw on a ref shirt tonight, stole the belt and took off?
Oh, I think this is better because here's the thing: we're building a mid card, and there's a lot. The rising tide is raising all boats, and WWE is having a good sense of making other characters. Like Damian Priest was not a main eventer, and is now becoming a main eventer in front of our eyes. This doesn't 100%. Hurt. So the other big thing is, I think this next PLE at Money in the Bank could have something very special. I think there's a cash in coming. WWE hates 2 briefcases, and somebody's getting cashed in.
It's usually the women who cash in on Money in the Bank.
So
I think it's going to be the men this year.
So here's the question. Is it WWE hates having 2 briefcases, or the previous owner of WWE hated having 2 briefcases? I think
it's the previous.
Yeah, I think that this may be the year that you see 2 briefcases and they hold for a little bit.
Well, and let me throw out my crazy idea because WWE listens to everything. I want a tag Money in the Bank match. Give me 3 teams from Raw, 3 teams from SmackDown. Give me a tag attack. I think you could do some amazing things with 12 guys in a Money in the Bank match.
I think you can do that and not have it on the PLE, right? Do it on the night before. They're in Toronto, right?
The SmackDown, on SmackDown before, man,
kind of like a hype. This is what you're gonna get tomorrow, motherfuckers.
And give them an hour. Like they could take a whole hour of the show and it wouldn't hurt anybody,
except for the performers.
Well, here's the thing: they're not working the next night anyway, right? Like,
True enough.
Well, and Boris, the only thing I would say about that is because it's Money in the Bank, you like you take a few big bumps, but you're lying down for 3/4 of the match.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no. Our heel, you're definitely healing on me right now. Jey Uso needs the Money in the Bank for his career, but for the story, Drew needs the case. Jey does not need the Money in the Bank, and honestly, I don't think Drew needs it either. I think the Money in the Bank needs to go on somebody and make somebody.
Yeah, I do not want to see Jey Uso having Money in the Bank.
Boris, who's our money? Who would you like to have? Like, not who they're going to pick. Like, if you could pull a name out of the hat, who needs the Money in the Bank the most?
That's a real tough one, because I could see it being someone like Braun Breaker at this point, right? But at the same time, I feel like they're kind of building him up to be a monster and us that and on the side, right? So he doesn't necessarily need it. Punk doesn't need it. Drew maybe, Jay maybe. That's a really great question.
If you're gonna make somebody, why not pick somebody who has main event potential, but has not lived up to it yet in wrestling in North America, at least on the big brands. Give me Andrade for the, and then let him sit on it for 9 months, like they did with Damian.
That's the thing, right? Like, a lot of people did complain about Damian Priest, but look what's happening now.
Greg,
look at us now.
Give me a Money in the Bank winner. Who would you like? Not who's going to win. Who do you want to win?
Do you know what? I'm going to go a little bit out of left field, but since we saw him tonight, I'm going to pick Chad Gable.
Ooh, good pick.
That's a good one. I like that pick.
right? So Chad Gable. I think it fits with the character well. I think it gives him more things that he can do with I can cash this in at any time. I'm training, I'm scouting, I'm doing this. So I think that Chad Gable as Money in the Bank winner could be very interesting.
Yeah. I listen. We could spend from here until then Money in the Bank talking about this, but I know that it's been a long day for you gentlemen. So why don't we? And I don't see any more chats there, Boris. Why don't you queue up the main show tomorrow?
Well, we actually do have someone queued up to join us. Just remember that if you're watching us on X or on YouTube, you can just send me a DM. Everyone knows how to get a hold of me, and I will send you the link so that you can join. But we do have someone waiting here. It's not a PLE. It's not a pay-per-view if Tom doesn't join us. So, Tom, I hope you're ready. I'm going to bring you up to the show right now.
Oh, dear God in heaven.
Greg, keep the
No!
Oh,
Dad, keep it on.
oh, sorry, Tom. Okay. Please tell me your screen's not on, but your shirt is off. Yes.
My shirt is on because
Oh.
the sun at this time glares at me so much. I wouldn't know how to take it off with all the sun, and that's the worst part about this time of day. It just glares at me for about 3 or 4 hours. I usually fall asleep in my chair.
Tom, tell me on the scale of 1 to 10, where does this PLE rank for you, my brother?
It's a pretty solid one. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the intermission parts because, like Greg, I did fast forward a lot to get to match because I had to catch up on the runtime because obviously I start an hour behind, right?
Yeah.
So that I don't sit around and watch stuff I don't have to watch. So
There you go. There you go.
Favorite match, Tom. Give me your favorite match for tonight, then. Ooh, I'm asking hard questions.
let's go with Sami Zayn and the future Intercontinental Champion Chad Gable. Now I don't
I
know
like that
how
match.
we're gonna get to SummerSlam and Chad Gable's finally gonna win, but it's in Cleveland. So somehow it's gonna happen.
Yep. That's one of the things that I really enjoy the most about where WWE is right now is that you don't know where we're gonna go. Like we have Money in the Bank in a couple weeks, then we have SummerSlam a month after that, then almost a month later we have Bash in Berlin. Like there's so many major PLEs happening this summer, and you don't know where we're going to be come Labor Day.
Yeah. I didn't know. I going in, I thought Scotland was going to go for 3 for 3, but 1 for 3 is pretty good. And anybody who could bring the women's tag team titles back to when the besties had the titles would be the best thing. Because when Bailey and Sasha had the titles, that was the best time,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And when they lost it, it destroyed Sasha, and it destroyed the division, and the Iconics were just a joke because that's basically what they were at the time.
Yeah, they were a comedy act, right? At the end of the
Right.
day, they were overall a comedy act. So
So
yeah.
I think to have a afternoon PLE other than the sun being in my face is awesome.
Right? Exactly.
All right, Tom. We're looking forward to seeing you back next month. The sun will not be in your face because we'll be in Eastern Time Zone, and shirts off.
Because you'll be drunk off your face because you're all going to be at the Scotiabank Arena, unlike me.
No,
I will be half asleep at the Scotiabank Arena because that is going to be a very long weekend with doing, we have to talk about how we're going to
cover all that stuff.
You guys are going to probably have to do Money in the Bank because you guys aren't there.
Wait, what?
Just saying.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Brad, you're going to be the only sober person on the staff.
That's what you think.
I have the main
Even
show
though
to do
you're
the
a
next day.
bartender, you still will be the soberest person on the staff because everybody else will be at Money in the Bank.
I was shaking margarita for you, Tom. All right, Tom, we love having you every month. Big heart for you. Thank you. Call back in later. Oh, I got the animation to start for me. Awesome.
Beautiful. Thanks, Greg. Thanks,
Take care.
Brad. Thanks, Boris.
Love you,
so
Tom.
much, Tom.
See you next month.
All right, let's see this. So I would like Xavier Woods to turn heel and win the case, but I think it's going to be Jay. There you go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Xavier Woods is a good pick, though. I mean, here's the thing. We can make cases for about 24 wrestlers, and if WWE is smart, they have qualifying matches, they pick people, some upsets, hopefully, in these qualifying matches. You know who's not winning the Money in the Bank, boys? Ricochet.
That's like the only person that you can honestly say will not win, and you are like, right. So there you go. All right, Brad, I think if there's no one else that's going to join us, we are at the hour mark, and I think that this is a good time to sign off because we are coming into Saturday evening. But just remember that we have so much more to go still here on Sunday night's main event. We have the Collision catch-up that's happening because AEW also has another TV show later on tonight. And just remember that tomorrow we do have the main show, the flagship show, Sunday night's main event on TSN Radio and the iHeartRadio app. Tomorrow's special guest is going to be none other than Chris Adonis. It's a great chat. Was just editing that chat earlier last night, and it's a very, very good one. Very, very, very good one that we're going to have tomorrow. And we're obviously going to be dissecting this show a little bit more, talking about who we think and what we think is going to happen through the summer. And so much to chat about, even with NXT, TNA. Tatum Paxley showed up at Against All Odds. So much to chat about.
Jeff Hardy's at the end of the show, dude. I can't wait to hear you and Donnie break that down tomorrow.
Exactly. So much to talk about. TSN Radio, iHeartRadio app, SundayNightsMainEvent.com. Go to your favorite podcasting app and search for Sunday Night's Main Event. Hit that subscribe, leave a review. If you want to help support the show, the best way to do that is by going to Chopped Tees. That's chopped-tees.com. And if you're a fan of the written word, well, go on over to Slam Wrestling. That's slamwrestling.net because they have interviews, show reviews, and so much more. That's slamwrestling.net. Thank you so much for listening. Brad, send us home.
Well, friends, thank you again. And on behalf of Boris, Greg, and myself, we the ones.